Good afternoon, my name's Penny. This will be my second video in my Gentle Expansion series, and to me Gentle Expansion is about our self-development, about choosing experiences that help us to expand, but in a slow and nurturing and gentle way. So not jumping in the deep end, but allowing ourselves to go out of our comfort zone just a little bit at a time and become more of who we are and who we're capable of being. So today I'd like to talk about speaking online, and obviously that's what I'm doing right now. So it's pertinent to me and my experience this year. I had a variety of experiences speaking online. So this started a few months ago when I was offered an opportunity to tutor groups of students for university level, and that was for early childhood courses. And this is something that has almost happened a few times over the years, but something that I was sort of avoiding because it seemed like a little bit stressful, a bit of a challenge for me. And for me, gentle expansion is about choosing those challenges that we're ready for, that we really want to have. We don't need to expand ourselves in ways that are not calling to us, that we're not feeling that inspiration towards. So if somebody else thinks we need to expand, that doesn't mean we need to expand in that way. We need to expand in the ways that are really meaningful to us, that we really feel excited about. And when this opportunity came up, that's how I felt. I felt very excited about it because it felt like this is what I really want to be better at. So I just had this feeling that one day I'm going to be speaking, and for several years now I've had this feeling I can see myself speaking in the future. I don't know why, I don't know where, and I don't know how, but it's just a knowing that I had. So I thought, well, it would be fantastic to feel more confident at that, and then hopefully the opportunities will come into being. So I said yes to this opportunity, and I have given quite a lot of sessions now, semester 1, semester 2, and now going into the summer semester, and I will be tutoring now for the master's course. So that's a little step up as well. So when I started this, the first session, of course I felt quite intimidated by the idea, even though I have done, some speaking and some teaching. I used to teach TAFE level early childhood students, so I did that for several months where I was teaching face-to-face. Quite a large group, so it's not a new experience for me completely, but in this case I had to record myself on the video, and that would be used for the students to watch whenever they like. So this is a bit of a different experience because you know that you might have to watch yourself and listen to yourself speaking, and that was something that a lot of people aren't very comfortable with. I'm sure you've heard people say things like, oh, I don't like my voice, I couldn't watch myself, or I couldn't listen to myself. And I found this a bit interesting because it probably was how I would have felt in the past. But expansion for me means challenging some of these ways of being and doing. And for me, this is something that I feel very differently about now. So when I had my first session, I was a bit nervous, or quite nervous, but I was able to put that aside and go on with the first session. And after the session, I had a little look at the video. And I think in the past I would have been picking out all the things that I might have done wrong. I don't like the way my voice sounds, or I don't like the way I look, or why did I have that pause there, or why did I stumble over those words? And I think this is something that we need to accept, that we're in the process of learning. So this was my first lesson, and I watched the video quite objectively, which is a new thing for me, because in the past I wasn't particularly objective in general about things, very sensitive to criticism from other people, but also quite hard on myself, and I expected myself to be quite perfect at everything that I did. And that's something that developed over time, and it wasn't a healthy thing that developed. I think any kind of perfectionism is, well, Elizabeth Gilbert calls it fear in high heels. So it's just fear with a fancy name, and we sometimes think of it as a good thing, but perfectionism actually is fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough for others. And I chose to look at this as something that I could improve, but I did the best I could in my first session, and I felt that that was enough. And I watched the video with an impartial eye and looked at a few things that I thought that I could improve on and kept those in mind. And then I put the video away, and that was it. And I've approached every session that way. And I've seen this overflowing in different aspects of my life too, what was happening already before this, also with the singing that I do. So sometimes I perform, and in the past I would have felt the same way about performing. I would have thought about all of the things that I hadn't been good enough at. And that's really changed over the last couple of years, where when I perform, I just think about the things that I've done really well and how happy I am that I've made progress from the last time. So I might be aware of some things that I would like to change or do differently the next time, but I don't spend a lot of time thinking about that like I would have in the past. I would have mulled over it and felt down about it and thought, well, how come I couldn't have been better? Why couldn't I have done this better this time? Or why wasn't I as good as this person? And I've noticed that that's not happening at all anymore. I'm just thinking, I'm so proud of myself because I did better than I usually do. And I noticed this recently when I had an Opera Queensland workshop, and I sang a song, and it was a bit out of my comfort zone because it was quite a little bit flirty and fun, and that's not something that I've been very confident with. But I was just so proud of myself that I did it, that I didn't choose not to do it because I had the option all the way along of saying, no, I'll sing something else, or I won't sing at all. That's always an option, but I don't choose that option. I always go through with the things that I've decided to do, and I did my best, and everybody thought that I did a good job, and I thought that I did my best. So I was just really happy with that this was progress. And that's what I'd like to focus on, progress rather than perfection, because there is no perfection. And we should be really happy and proud of ourselves when we make progress in something that's quite out of our comfort zone. So with speaking, with singing, with any kind of expression, verbally or with performing in any way, we can only do the best that we can do in that moment, on that day, in the feeling that we have, in how we're feeling in our body, in our mind, with the people watching, depending on who's there and how that's affecting us emotionally or socially, or whether we're feeling a lot of nerves or not. At every moment, we're doing the best to manage the environment we're in and our internal state, and that's the best we can do, and we should be just really happy with that. So rather than worrying about whether we think our voice sounds good, or we look good, or we like the way we're speaking, we just give it a go and remember that we're always learning, and this is a learning process. Nobody else expects us to be at any particular level. We just know that we're going to continue to improve and want to hone our skills if this is something that really interests us and that we enjoy, and just leave it at that. So don't let it run around in your head for days or weeks or any time at all. Just be proud, be excited, be happy, and then look forward to the next opportunity where you can improve your skills. So I will sign off for now, and I'll speak to you next time.